overall strength, speed, and positional accuracy.
Hello everybody, I do apologize for the lack of videos recently. I've been recently not very busy, but you know, life gets in the way sometimes. I was gonna record this Wednesday, the Wednesday before that, but we decided to go shopping, so yay! Last week I was actually going to record this last week, but I had such a headache last week, so I couldn't really do it in advance. I've been a bit... Since last week, I have been okay. You know what they say, it's fun being a girl as well, if you get what I mean by that. But, other than that, I've been pretty good. I'm like, I want to do this so badly, so I'm doing it today. I've got some free time. I'm home today. I'll record this. And then I realized that I was like, because I really want to react to the Michael Jackson trailer that just dropped last week, so I'm a little bit late with videos, so I do kind of apologize in advance as well for that, but that can't be helped. So yes, I'll do M3gan, I'll review M3gan, then I'll do Michael Jackson, then I'll do some shorts, and then tomorrow, hopefully, the new Hello Boss just dropped, new shorts, so I'll react to that, and then I'll change my background, because I want to do some Disney stuff, as well, so I'll get that going as well. So yeah, so besides that, yes, we're going to talk about M3gan 2.0 as well. Do you like my robotic voice as well? So yeah, so I saw this movie last week. I didn't rewatch it because I didn't have a lot of time, and there's a point. The reason why I've been binge watching so many movies recently is because not only that I've been sick with tonsillitis, but that is true as well. But yeah, but sometimes you just have nothing else to do and you just decide to watch a movie instead. That's fine. But yeah, but the reason why so many movie reviews coming out, is because I've been watching a lot of stuff recently. Not the fact that I've been due to being sick, but I've been kind of watching a couple of things while I had tonsillitis as well to a degree, so that's why there's a lot of movie reviews coming out as well. So we're going to talk about M3gan. Now, I didn't really watch this movie because it's a 2-hour movie. Sorry about that. Anyway, yes, so we're going to talk about M3gan 2.0. Now, what I'll say before is that the reason why I didn't see this movie, I saw this movie once. It is a 2-hour movie. So I didn't want to watch it again because I'm like, I've already seen it. It's like it's still fresh in my mind, kind of, even though I just saw this movie last Friday as well. We were actually going to watch it earlier, but I wasn't feeling well on a Tuesday. So, and plus, I just watched The Apprentice with Donald Trump. Such a good movie. Go check it out as well. But yeah, but I didn't rewatch this movie because it's still fresh in my mind a bit, so I wanted to get this over and done with. I know it sounds bad, but I got other videos to do, so yeah. So M3gan 2.0. Now, I heard a lot of people didn't like this movie. Me and my mum, because I watched this with my mum, me and my mum both really liked it, like really enjoyed it, as well, if you could say that. But, yeah, when I was watching the movie, there was a couple of things to me that didn't make sense, and I can understand why people didn't like this movie. Like I said, I like this movie, but there's some cracks, and some subplot points that don't make any sense to me. Like, when it came to M3gan, right, because M3gan gets, I wouldn't say resurrected per se, but, although there's a funny scene in the movie where, you know, like, because remember, M3gan is a robot, right? AI-generated robot, right? And there's a scene with her and Katie, I think that's her name, Katie, and she's all, like, robotic and stuff like that. Like, you know, she has no face. She's just very robotic, kind of like a, what do you call those matches when you go to, like, one of those, monster robot, things, like, when you race cars, like, when you race robotic cars, something like that. So I thought that was very interesting. She looks really freaky. I'm like, she looks so freaky. It's very freaky. So this movie, it's more on the darker side, to be honest with you, but it's still such a good movie regardless. But yeah, yeah, I also like the scene where, because M3gan's still around, obviously, right? And I'm like, how is that possible? Because I thought she died. Not died, I thought she was defeated in the first movie, remember? We knew that as well, going in. So I'm like, how is she controlling everything in the house still? And I'm like, when I saw it, I'm like, wait a second, this doesn't make doesn't make any sense to me, first off, because she got defeated, remember, from the first movie. So I'm like, how is she still controlling the house? 'Cause obviously they have a new house and stuff, looks very neat and nice. And there's a scene with her and Gemma, and she's projected. They did really good, I will say this, they did really good projection of images. Like, you saw M3gan going through the walls and stuff like that around the house as well. And also they discussed that she is a disembodied, meaning like, I hope I said that right. She's a disembodied, meaning like she has no soul. But I'm like, wait a second, M3gan's a robot. She doesn't even have a human soul. Like, what? That did not make sense to me either. Because I'm like, she's an artificial robot, but has no soul. It's kind of like Frankenstein. When we talk about Frankenstein, same thing. You know, how do you create something without giving it a human heart? Because obviously, you know, it's very important to have a heart, right? So yeah, so I was like so confused. I'm like, what's going on? But yeah, I liked how she went through the walls, kind of. It was very creepy, but I thought, you know, M3gan did that really good. The projection of the screen also looked very haunted and very horror-esque as well. There's a couple of references to, there's a reference to, I think, is it Poltergeist? You know, the movie where, you know, the little girl is holding up her hands and they're like, they're here! And stuff like that. So if you know that reference very well, I haven't seen it, but I don't like horror. Thrillers I'm okay with as well. We were discussing the other day what the difference is between a horror movie and a thriller, because you probably think they're the same thing. Not necessarily. A thriller's more like intense. Not a lot of blood and guts. But a horror movie is kind of more like jump scares. So I would say those are two different between horror and thriller. This is more like a thriller type movie. Still dark. I would say very stark, but you know, very good. But there's a scene where Gemma, because the TV goes all haywire, that's when M3gan comes into the picture, and it's like, that's so cool to reference a horror movie of Poltergeist, because it reminds me of Poltergeist, and every single media has referenced Poltergeist in some way. They referenced in Animaniacs season 3, you know, about the little girl, like, they're here. So obviously I know that reference very well. Even though I've seen the movie, I know that reference very well as well. I think it's about Poltergeist. Yeah, I get confused between The Exorcist and Poltergeist. Is that the girl? Did the child actor die in that movie? Not Exorcist. I'm pretty sure it's Poltergeist. Yeah, it is Poltergeist. Yeah, okay. So yeah, so I get confused between those two movies. So, you know. But anyway, besides that, there's also another scene in the movie where there's another projection image. I can't remember what it was because I saw this movie last week, but also a really good scene as well. Now, obviously, this is a very typical plot storyline. Obviously, you know, Gemma's boyfriend is the villain. Like, ta-da, there's no surprise there, because in the movie, we're really focusing on him at the start. I'm like, what's going on with this guy? Is he the villain or not? Because usually when they focus on someone so heavily, it usually means they are the villain, right? That's all. That's in there, like, every movie, every single story. Like, if you focus on one particular character, that means they're the villain. You turned out he was the villain as well. And it's interesting that this movie comes out at the perfect time. Well, not perfect time, but nowadays we are seeing more AI stuff, okay? Like AI images, AI meanings, AI ads. I just saw it ad a while ago on TV recently. What was it a while ago? Yeah. I saw a ad a while ago. I'm like, oh my god, that looks so freaky. It was in the lounge room living area, and my mum and I was looking at it, I'm like, what the heck is that? And my mum was like, that's an AI ad. I'm like, what? Why would you use an AI ad? That's ridiculous. But AI is out there. We'll talk about AI in an upcoming video. I have some thoughts about that as well, so I'll leave that there. But yeah, AI has become a thing now. You see AI, like every time I look at AI, I'm like, is that real or fake? Because you can't really tell with AI, right? Like I was looking, so I did this beautiful theme park on Mariah Carey, and I just found out recently that was AI. I'm like, what? But it looks so real, right? You would imagine that being real. It's very hard to tell the difference between fake and real, like what's real and what's fake, obviously. And there's like AI news ads, obviously, as well. So they're using AI a lot, and they're tricking people because I get tricked a lot. Like I saw an AI ad just the other day. I'm like, wait a second, is that real or not? And my mum said, no, it's not real, that's AI, basically. So you can't really tell, but be careful with that, because it can trick you. It tricked me a couple of times. I don't like it. Now, for me personally, I do like AI. Not like, but I like that you can do something really creative. Like, I've seen a lot of vintage Hollywood style, like a Marilyn Monroe was still, with us, what would it be like a modern day and the vintage stuff. I kind of love that stuff. That's fun and all. And also, like, people have reimagined AI Disney princesses during that time period. I think that's very fascinating because we don't see that in the modern day as well. Because those movies came out in, like, the 90s, 1950s, 1980s, so we didn't really see that as well, so it's nice to see that. But I will say this, I draw the line at people making AI characters, but not only that, I am against people, because sometimes people do AI of actors who have passed, and I'm like, guys, leave the dead, you know what I mean? And it's weird when you see that, because it's like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, they're dead, right? But AI is very clever, They sometimes, I saw Whitney Houston feed and she saw these, and she was with other people. I'm like, that is not real. I don't think Whitney met those people. So I draw the line at that, because that's like, okay, that's too much. I saw an AI of Michael Jackson. I'm like, guys, leave the dead, Obviously that. And they also had, not AI per se, but they have a new, I'm not sure if you heard about this, they have a new animatronic Walt Disney figure at the Disney parks. I'm not sure if you've been there, but people have been, not complaining, but there's, half and half. So some people think it's good, some people think it's very bad. I'm like, why would you remake an animatronic of Walt Disney? Like, what? That's ridiculous to me. I personally feel that's ridiculous to me as well. So AI, it might be different to animatronics, but still, I feel like Megan here is a combination of AI and animatronics too, in some degree. The other day I was at the shops and I saw the Stitch, because Stitch has become very popular now, because you see Stitch everywhere, right? And I saw Stitch, and I'm pretty sure, like, when I was growing up, I didn't have, like, tech toys and everything. Like, I had, like, some technology, but technology wasn't around when I was a kid or anything like that. It was more like movies and VHSs sometimes, rarely, but yeah, but it's more like CDs, DVDs, obviously, that time period. So we didn't really grow up with a lot of, nowadays, if you're a kid, you should be lucky, because there was no streaming platforms when I was growing up back in the day, in the 2000s, because tech at that time was still early still. And, but nowadays it's like, you can stream anything you want, basically, but that's also a bad thing, because what if the internet goes out and you're like, oh no, I can't use this, I can't use that. So it's good and bad, but yeah. But anyway, besides that, but yeah, I saw this Stitch thing, and I'm pretty sure they used, not AI, but they made his eyes more tech. I'm like, oh, that's freaky. Why would you do that? So yeah, AI, sure, it's there, like, it's there, but at the same time, it's like, do we really want to use AI to make an image of a character, right? And AI can be clever sometimes. Like, I see something like, oh, it's really clever. I like those things. But I draw the line at people saying that they're sort of like, oh, you don't need creativity to make AI, because AI, you can do whatever you want, even if you're not an artist. And to me, I said to my mum the other day, like, I'd rather hold a pencil and draw, because I'm so creative. I get that from my mum as well. My mum's really creative as well, and also my grandmother's really creative as well. So I got that gene into me. So yeah, I would rather, because I said this to my mum, I'd rather hold a pencil and draw something rather than using tech and AI to do something for me. So that's the whole conundrum, obviously. So yeah. But anyway, back to Megan. I just want to say that because I'm just like, yeah. So yeah, so also in the movie we get to not only that, but in the movie we see this another robot person, okay? And my mum's first thought was like, oh, who's the actress that played Wonder? And I'm like, oh my god, that's Olsen, I swear to God to you, she looks exactly like Elizabeth Olsen. Like, if you looked up Elizabeth Olsen, right, she looks exactly like her. Unfortunately, she's not in the movie, so someone else is portraying her as an animatronic robot, obviously called Amelia. That's a lovely name, Amelia, as well. And, but she looks exactly like her. Like, I like this. I'm like, I wonder if they had to use Elizabeth Olsen's likeness to, do this character. Because you can't use celebrities' likeness, not even in dolls, unless I guess it's different to animation. But when it comes to live actions or, like, anything, you can't really use the likeness of an actor or an actress because they would have to get paid for their likeness, obviously. So that's why. So that's probably what the reason is. But, I thought, she was, interesting. It threw me off, because when you think about M3gan, right, M3gan's very robotic, and she has a very robotic voice as well, like AI does sometimes. But here with Amelia, she sounds nothing robotic. I'm like, okay, did they advance her voice? I'm like, wait a second, she's a robot, right, but has a human voice? It's so weird. I mean, the way she talks, she also has a human voice. So I'm like, why does she have the same robotic voice as M3gan does? So I found that a little bit off-putting. I'm like, she's a robot, right? Not human. Although she looks more humanized. We'll talk about that in a minute. She looks more humanized than M3gan. I'm not sure why that is, because both of them are robots in some capacity. But I'm like, yeah, for some strange reason, she was very more, humanized. And that's interesting, because I don't know if you heard recently, but there's this actress, I'm not sure if this is a real story or not, they made an AI actress, a robotic actress called Chili Norwood, and she's an AI, not an AI robot, but artificial intelligence, let's just say that. So I'm not sure that story is real or not, but I heard about it. I'm like, oh yeah, did not know they did that. So are we going to get replaced by robots? I'm worried it's going to happen. Like, yeah, we'll see. But I think M3gan is a perfect example of, saying that don't create anything bad or don't create AI, because you never know when it's gonna glitch. Because obviously, internet problems or like, M3gan herself, they glitch. And they're not always programmed properly. Like, even like sometimes like, like technology isn't perfect whatsoever. Sometimes I put my TV and it starts mucking up and I have to turn it off at the wall, obviously. So I just want to reassure people that AI technology isn't perfect. Like, there's always going to be some glitches to it as well. That's why they have the updating software on some of the stuff as well. But, technology isn't perfect. And maybe this is a lesson that do not make an AI robot. Maybe they're like, oh, I don't want that. Hang on. It's like the Frankenstein thing we talked about too. Because I'm like, don't make a Frankenstein. Don't make Frankenstein, because Frankenstein's a bit different to M3gan, but still they were created by their masters, obviously. And it's like, why would you create a human being, sort of, but like not give it a heart? Because every human on Earth has a heart, right? You need a heart. Like, you can't live without one. Although in movies, I guess movies kind of fabricate that a little bit, like, in some capacity. But in real life, a heart is your living organ, obviously. And I think, that the fact that M3gan doesn't have a heart or doesn't have any living organs in her is interesting. Although it was weird to me because she was talking to Gemma, and for some reason I don't know if she was programmed to, because first of all, M3gan was a toy, an AI artificial toy to comfort Katie, obviously, in the first movie. So that was heavily with the first movie, but she became, let's just say, a bit psycho towards the ending as well as some capacity. But, she became glitchy and a bit psycho a little bit towards the ending. But, I was going to say that, because M3gan is programmed to help Katie, right? And I thought that was the same thing here, but the way she sounded, she felt more humanized. I'm like, did they make M3gan more humanized? I'm like, how does that even work? Because first of all, she's a robot. Robots don't have feelings, right? They're animatronics, right? So they don't have a feeling or purpose. But M3gan was programmed to help Katie, obviously. So maybe she had that in the system, obviously. I don't know. And it just felt weird that they treated M3gan more like a human than a robot. I just found that really off-putting. I'm like, she's a robot, not a human. And when she had that comforting talk, which was lovely. I'm like, Megan doesn't have the capacity to talk to a human about human emotions. Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. So I also felt that a little bit off-putting too, but it was a nice scene. I just think they treated Megan more like a human than robot. I think people might have a problem with that, because in the first movie, she was all psycho. She was killing people, but this movie, I would say this movie is more about Megan being an anti-hero, anti-hero or anti-villain, obviously, and she's not the villain in this movie, obviously. So she's more like an anti-hero, and I think a lot of people had some issues with that because of, Megan, and is Megan a horror icon? Is she? Maybe, but they just turned the whole, the story around. They kind of switched it, and even though this movie has its problems, it's still a good movie. Like, it's not really bad, but there are a few things that I could pick up. I'm like, wait a second, And also, the weirdest thing for me, Megan's scenes. How is that possible that an AI robot can see? That's ridiculous, but it was funny. Me and my mum were laughing, and I was like, what the heck is going on? So, I don't know what's going on there, but it was just so weird that she's son. I'm like, okay, that is so weird, because robots don't sing at all, unless they're programmed to, but Megan's not really programmed, she's just, that's a good question, is Megan programmed by anything? I know she's got, things inside her, robotic stuff, but she's not really programmed by remote. She just does what she does, obviously. And I think that's very dangerous to have. Maybe Gemma had a remote on her as well. So yeah, so obviously, at the end of the movie, she does sacrifice herself. She's more like an anti-hero here. And I think people had a problem with that as well. Because Megan was very psycho in the first movie. And the second movie, she's kind of more softer, more likable, I guess, in a way, which I think people would have some problems with Megan, obviously. But I thought it was a very nice transition to her, because when you think about anti-heroes, Harley Quinn from Birds of Prey, obviously, is an anti-hero as well. She's anti-villain, anti-hero, so it's nice to see Megan has a change of personality here. I know some people might not like it, but I liked it because it was a different change to a character. Like, you can't always have a psycho character unless you build it upon it as well. But I thought that was very interesting that Megan had a different transition. She had a different transition. She was very psycho in the first movie, I could say, that killing people as well. But in this movie, she transitioned very well, and she kind of changed for the better. I don't know if I could trust her fully still. I don't know if I can trust her. I don't know if I could trust Megan from that. Guaranteed, but I like the transition they kind of gave her. They tried, but I don't think people were like, Megan, she's good now. So, yeah, I think people had a problem with that. So, what do you think? Do you have a problem with Megan being an anti-hero or not? Let me know in the comments. We'd love to know. Okay, let's talk about characters really quickly. That's all I have to say with characters, to be honest with you. But I'm going to say it, okay? I was very surprised that Jermaine Clements, he's in the movie, obviously. He plays a billionaire type person that wants Gemma's technology for something, obviously, because it's about AI and technology, which I kind of love, because AI is a big thing nowadays. So yeah, so he was cool. He wasn't in the movie too much, but I was like, oh yeah, this Jermaine Clements, and my mum was like, oh, what's he been in? Like, he's been in Rio, he's been in Moana, he played the crab. He goes, shiny, the crab from Moana. He plays that, and my mum did not know that he played the crab from Moana. So she said, no, I didn't know that. I was like, didn't you know that? I'm like, no, I didn't. So now you know. Jermaine Clements is the crab from Moana. So that's pretty cool. So his character was not in the movie too much. He was outlived, per se. That's all I can say here. But I'm like, yeah, because, sometimes it's like, is that him or not? Because sometimes you recognize an actress, but you kind of recognize them, but you don't really. So I was like, all through me, I was like, is that Jermaine Clements or not? And I was right by that. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Aristella Faria plays Christian. Now, obviously, he's the villain of this movie, so not a lot to go on there, but there's a very interesting story. There's a lot of darkness, I would say. than the other movie as well. There's a lot of action. We get a lot of action during the opening scene was fantastic. There's a lot of action going on in that movie. And then, when Gemma, there was like was it the FBI that broke into their house? I don't know, but some organization broke into Gemma and Katie's house, obviously, so that was really cool to see. There's a lot of action in this movie, obviously. There's a lot of action. Like, even the ending, there's a lot of action as well. And you can kind of see it as well. So I thought that was a really nice pace, to have more action in this movie. Because I like action. So I thought that was really cool. I'm going to say this has more action than the first movie. Because the first movie did have a lot of action in it. I would say that's more mediocre. Like, it did have a lot of action. The final scene of the first movie was fine. Not great. But there was a lot of action in the sequel, which I enjoyed as well. Alison Williams plays Gemma. Not a lot to say about her role. She's still the same, but I feel like she's kind of oblivious to what's going on, basically. Because, her boyfriend she doesn't know that her boyfriend is the villain, obviously, until the final stages of the movie. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. And I don't know if I can give this away, but in the movie, right, it's kind of right from my trailer. If you've seen my M3gan trailer reaction, she was they were making experiments, on Gemma and other people, attaching, a robotic to a human, which I'm like, that's very fascinating. She had like those, those telepathic things on her head, and she also can telepathically communicate with M3gan as well, even though M3gan had no body. So I was so confused by that, because the guys defeated her, so I don't know, that's so weird. I wish they would explain that a little more, but it was really cool that she kind of programmed, herself through M3gan, through her mind, and she did some really cool M3gan moves, and I kind of really enjoyed that as well. Sort of like the movements of someone, but they're not visibly there, which I really enjoyed as well. Bri Jordan as Cole and Jen Van Epps as Tess. Not a lot to say about them, but they were more in the movie, to be honest with you, which I love, the ragtime team of it all. There weren't a lot actually, to be honest with you, they weren't a lot in the first movie. And in the second movie, they get a big chunk of even though they're supporting characters, they get a big chunk of the story as well, which I thought that was very fascinating. As for Violet McGrath, who plays Katie, is it Katie C-A-T-E? Why is it? I don't know. It's a C-A-D-Y. Katie? That's how you spell Katie. K-A-T-E. Yeah, Katie or Katie. K-A-T-I-E. Not Katie. That's so weird. I'm like, I just realized that. I don't know. It's her name. But we're going to go with Katie, because that's her name. Or Caitlin. Caitlin, Katie. Yeah, whatever. So, as I was saying, sorry, I'm so confused by her name, because isn't it Katie? K-A-T-E? Or K-A-T-I-E? I don't know. Anyway, so unfortunately, Katie is not in the movie as much than the first movie was. So I think we didn't really see Katie a lot in this movie, to be honest with you. She was in a couple of scenes in the opening scene, but she wasn't a prominent character like Gemma, Cole, and Tess as well. She wasn't really a prominent character, and I kind of felt bad for that actress as well, because I thought, she grew up a little bit. Kids grow up a little bit when they do projects like this, so yeah, I kind of felt bad, because she did a really good job in the first movie, obviously. She did a really good job, and I was kind of unfortunate that she was pushed to the background a little bit. So we did see a lot of Katie, but we did see the other characters, which I kind of, enjoyed as well. But I wish Katie was in it a little bit more. She does get kidnapped, so maybe that's why we don't see her a lot in the movie, because she gets kidnapped. She doesn't get kidnapped earlier on in the movie, it's kind of later on in the movie. So we don't really see her a lot there as well, because, So yeah, so I kind of felt bad for the actress, because she's a big part of the first movie. And I think, what really helped the first movie was her, obviously, because she's playing a girl who just lost her parents in a car accident, if you've seen the first movie, and then M3gan comes along and protects her, and, looks after her, obviously. M3gan sure does become psycho at the end, obviously, if you know that, but I thought that was very, interesting. So, those are my thoughts on M3gan 2.0 as well. Yeah, like I said, I like the movie. There are a couple of, things, there are a couple of cracks in the movie that didn't make any sense to me. Also, like a couple of cracks and storylines and some of the feeds they said didn't make sense to me, including M3gan because she's a robot, not human, so I was a bit confused by that as well. So yeah, so that's all I got time, guys. Make sure to like, share, subscribe to Millsmith's video. I'm so sorry to say, but I'm going to get on top of videos next week. Hopefully next week will be more calmer and more. I'll be home more. So let's see. I can't predict what happens. I'm not a fortune teller, so we'll see. So that's all I got time, guys. Make sure to like, share, subscribe to Millsmith's video. Also, if you haven't yet, subscribe as well because that really helps a lot. As well to get my subscriptions up. As well, and also watch this video if you get a chance to. And also, there's a bell icon near the subscribe button. So if you haven't yet, why don't you hit that notification bell? Because that will tell you when I upload videos or when a video is online. So please do that because it really helps a lot. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and also comment if you can. So yes, so that's all I got, guys. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye. Make sure to hit that notification bell because it will help you out a lot when I upload videos or when videos are going live as well.
I'll admit, there were some bugs in my programming. It's hardly fair to blame me for that. The hell is this? You put me in this plastic Teletubby?
Prove you can be trusted, maybe we'll give you an upgrade.
No hokey stopper.
You remember what happened last time? You threatened to rip out my tongue and put me in a wheelchair.